Things That Go Bump in the Night by Sammy Louise. Have you ever wondered what makes the sound in the middle of the night when you were laying in your dark room almost asleep? Have you ever wondered about the things that go bump in the night? Have you ever blew off the noise that wakes you up, assuming it was just your mind playing tricks on you? Little Sally Whitfield did every night until the unthinkable happened. It was the day of her 12th birthday. She just knew it was going to be unforgettable. Her parents had a big surprise planned after her party. She invited a lot of friends and even a few new girls to stay for the sleepover. Today was her day, and in her mind, nothing could go wrong. Little did she know, not 2 towns away, Lucas Manning, the man that had murdered his family, had escaped from federal prison and was making his way to Cumberland to hide out. Sally went to school that day as planned, and the man progressed as usual. Her class learned some history, and she did a little math. She then had lunch and walked home, and before she knew it, the time for her party had arrived. She dressed in her best clothes and fixed her hair just right. As the door chimed with its familiar ring, Sally took one last glance in the mirror to inspect her reflection. "That's odd," she said aloud as she noticed something different in her reflection. Deciding to do as she always did, she paid no mind to the little feeling she experienced in the pit of her stomach. The feeling that always said, something's not right. Sally always pushed those feelings aside, blaming them on her overactive imagination. Walking away from the mirror in her mother's bedroom, she neglected to pay attention to the details. For when she walked in, the window was sealed shut, but as she left, the curtains were blowing in the breeze. Finally, the party had begun. There was food and music, games and scary stories, and even a scary movie before most of the guests left. By the time the actual sleepover started, it was 9 o'clock, and Sally and her 2 best friends, Kim and Rasha, had settled down on the living room floor to watch another movie while Sally's mom went to bed. "Sally?" Kim asked in a tiny voice. "Why is the bathroom light on?" Glancing over at Kim, Sally knew something wasn't right. Rasha had almost fallen sound asleep and was oblivious to the terror they were about to face. "I'm not sure, but I wouldn't worry about it. Mom probably left it on for us so we could see," muttered Sally. Finally getting tired, the 2 girls went on to sleep, blocking out any sound or noise they heard. Sally jolted out of a deep sleep without knowing why. A feeling she had, perhaps. The feeling of not being alone. Heavy breathing penetrated her foggy hearing. The living room was pitch black as the bottom of a dark cave. The noise flowed through her frozen body. Footsteps. But from what direction? They seemed to echo through the house, bouncing off the walls and ceilings, almost begging her to find the source. Knowing there had to be a logical explanation, and not wanting to startle her 2 slumbering friends, she slowly made her way towards her mother's room, flipping light switches along the way with no results. Power outages, her little brain assumed. "Mother?" she said in a hushed voice as not to startle her too much. Noticing a sleeping form laying on her mother's bed, she walked towards it to gently nudge her awake. Upon touching the sleeping form, she was grabbed from behind and shoved roughly against the wall. "Why do you never listen to your gut instinct, kid?" a hushed voice whispered. "That's too bad about your friends, Sally," it said again. My friends?" she stammered. "Ha! Did you not notice their disappearance? Or did you just decide to assume everything as it was when you laid your head on your soft pillow? Poor little naive Sally, always thinking the sound is just the house settling or a branch tapping your window. I hate to be one to form you, sweetheart." The voice was whispering in her ear now. "But everyone's dead. Your beautiful mom, sweet little Rasha, annoying little Kim with that deer in the headlight look, and yes, you're next." Sally was terrified. She didn't know what to do or how to react. She was only 12. Was this how she was supposed to die? At the hands of a madman? Lucas stared at the terrified girl as he imagined how he was going to what he's going to do to her, and some would say. She was different from the other three he just got rid of. She wasn't begging for her life or crying. She was standing there with a look of pure terror in her eyes, almost frozen and looking past him, not directly at him, but behind him, which gave Lucas the chills. Deciding to finish it, he walked towards little Sally, knife in hand, with the thought of her warm young blood on his skin. Suddenly, Sally's eyes got big, and her mouth fell open, exposing gruesome yellow fangs. A horrible screech came from her foul mouth. Lucas didn't know what to do. Looking at her brought sudden terror, but he couldn't look away. Her little girl eyes turned black as coal, and her face twisted up as he had never seen before. The little angel turned long and skinny, topped with the vicious long fingernails. Her angel voice turned demonic. Are you scared of the noises that go bump in the night, Lucas? Because I'm not. Backing away, Lucas felt something grab him around the waist. He feared to look back, but what he felt was pure evil. This little girl slowly walked towards him, but was no little girl at all. This was the devil in disguise, and when she jumped at him, he knew that this was the wrong house to hide in. He realized how he had made the worst mistake of his life as he was bleeding to death. Little Sally turned toward the bed where her mother had laid. With a long overdue sigh, she grinned as she wiped the blood from her mouth. Father's home, she muttered to herself, and walked toward the dark, evil figure. It had black eyes and smoke circling around its hoofed feet. She had so bravely stared at her attacker, tried to kill her.